A Mature and Intelligent Voice. By J.C. Menapace. December 1, 2018. My displeasure began a few months ago when Wendy and Wilson moved into the apartment across the hallway from mine. Along with their two dogs. Diablo, a male pit bull, and Raptor, a female bull mastiff. My landlord, French Frank, desperately in need of financial income, rented to them. A couple of 19-year-old dope-smoking hippie deadbeats into heavy metal rock music. Frank, I'd said to him there on the second-floor landing of his apartment building, about those two kids from across the hallway hooked on bestiality and insane music. Are you trying to drive me insane? Too caught up with peeking into his other tenants' mailboxes, French Frank hadn't heard me. As it was, however, in time things couldn't have worked out better for me. My new neighbors soon afterward brought up to their apartment stacks of books on yoga, posters from arena concerts by the heavy metal bands Spilled Blood, and the Crazed Nutballs, a Tasmanian cat, a Senegalese canary, a South Seas Islands tortoise, a goldfish named Bowling Ball, and two 7-foot-long Burmese pythons, Jack and Jill. As I eyeballed them moving into their apartment, I'd seen each and every crate, cage, fishbowl and scratch pad, as well as their pair of 4-foot-high upright speakers. According to French Frank, their application to rent from him had been filled out as follows. Occupants, animal lovers. Dedicated to saving the planet's whales from extinction. Preferences, fine music. One day later, I'd nearly gone out of my mind trying to stuff my sanitary napkins into the spaces around the door to my apartment. Wilson was the one into the raucous music of Spilled Blood, his wife Wendy, that of the Crazed Nutballs band. Consequently, they argued incessantly about every album the other played over their radio station caliber stereo system. Wendy's voice, high-pitched, vicious, apparently with intent to kill, outshouted Wilson's that projected the angst of an angry water buffalo after sitting down in a puddle of gasoline. My attention riveted on thoughts about annihilating the two of them. Their cacophonous bedlam by then grown so strong that it caused the fluorescent light to flicker in my bathroom. That did it. Once again, I complained about it to my landlord. In response, French Frank told me, "You're a woman tired of living." Later, when I'd gone down to the mailboxes to get my daily dose of junk mail, Wendy also was there. "Hi," she said in a muffled tone of voice. "You're Samantha, aren't you?" "I'm Wendy. Your neighbor from across the hallway." I shot her a tight-lipped smile of endurance. "All skin and bones and bulging bloodshot eyeballs," she'd said, "come over to Wilson's and my pad. I'll show you around." She showed me around all right. The cages, the crates, the fishbowl, the scratch pads, and the computerized electronic equipment that comprised her and Wilson's abode. As she showed me their possessions, most of what she'd said concerning them got lost on me. I think she'd said she waited tables part-time. Being off from work today, she'd just come home from shopping for acrylic paints. Both she and Wilson were portrait painters, she said. I kept telling myself, "You've just met her. Don't be obnoxious," but felt like doing a backward somersault as a way of taking my leave. Instead, I'd asked her, "How long have you and your husband been married?" "We don't believe in marriage," she said. "It's too fucked in the ass." Later on in the day, I'd eavesdropped on them from outside their door to the hallway. From what they'd spoken to each other, I knew they walked around naked, talking up why nudism is healthy. Hearing such talk put me in a strange place. I started asking myself what I thought of myself as the spinster Samantha Ketchenbaum. I never actually saw Wendy and Wilson seated naked at their kitchen table, but I knew their table was circular, with scratches in the formica top. For supper they ate tofu and grape jelly pita bread sandwiches. How I longed to be in my bare feet and sharing such amiable companionship as shared by these off-the-wall 19-year-olds. Personally, I couldn't deal with any of it. My belly empty, the belt of my night robe drawn tight, I considered their lifestyle akin to that of stale donuts and cold soup. Back in my own apartment, before too long I'd sat myself down in a bathtub of hot water where perused a women's magazine with glossy color photographs of flower gardens, while thinking back on a telephone conversation of Wendy's I'd overheard earlier. "No, mother, no. No, mother. No. Wilson is not a bum. Neither am I, goodbye." She slammed down in the telephone cradle the receiver. For me, the words no and mother being synonymous, I reflected on how it is that mothers sometimes fear losing their daughters, and also how, long ago, I'd fought to remove all memories of my own mother telling me about whatever she felt was best for me. The next time I bumped into Wendy was, once again, downstairs at the mailboxes. I'd been prepared to give her a piece of my mind about all the noise that she and Wilson made. Before I spoke up, however, she told me, "You're such a kind person, Samantha. Your mother sure must have known how to raise you." I kept my mouth shut, telling her nothing of what I'd had in mind about my mother. The morning of the next day, I telephoned my ex-counselor, a psychiatrist, and I told her all about the quandary I was in over my 19-year-old next-door neighbors. A psychiatrist always speaks with a mature and intelligent voice. Mine told me, wanting control over other people's lives means Samantha Ketchenbaum still isn't in control of her own. She'd said I was playing mind games. These days, however, I'm in control of myself instead of mucking my way through life as the zombie I'd been molded into being as a young woman. I've learned how to listen to myself as well as to others. I know when and how to either turn on or turn off my feelings. The old Samantha didn't know how. I couldn't allow myself to be me. I probably would have had a more difficult time learning how to do it if it hadn't been for such mature and intelligent advice. Freed from being my old self has allowed me to be a free thinker. I enjoy listening to the music of Spilled Blood, and the Crazy Nutballs Band. I own a Tasmanian cat named Wendy, and a Senegalese canary named Wilson. For me, enjoyment in life is a pan of moist scrambled eggs. I love mornings, and drinking black coffee, and nibbling on a fresh biscotti. I'm satisfied being me.